raise your right hand, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give in the matter of the state of Georgia versus Jose Ibarra will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self and God?
Yes.
Please take a seat. Spell your first and last name for Madam Court Reporter.
My name is Kenneth Maxwell. First name is Kenneth. Last name Maxwell.
Where are you employed?
The University of Georgia Police Department.
How long have you worked there?
About 9.5 years.
What are your duties and responsibilities?
Right now I'm a patrol sergeant, so my job is to oversee a group of anywhere from 5 to 15 officers with daily tasks, answering calls for service, things like that, paperwork, administrative side, things like that as well.
If you could do me a favor and just adjust your microphone just a little bit. I'm having a tiny bit problem hearing you, and I'll make sure they can hear you at this table to my left. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Now, much better. Yes. Are you a post-certified officer?
I am.
Were you working on February 22nd of 2024?
Yes.
Did you all receive a certain call for a missing person named Laken Riley?
Yes.
Please tell the court the date and approximate time of the call and what you did and once you heard the call.
All right. So I believe the call came out on February 22nd at about 12:06 in the afternoon. It went out to another officer, Officer SPO Speller. He's one of the individuals that I oversee day-to-day operations for. When I heard the call come out, missing persons, or I guess people who are not like returning phone calls and things, aren't entirely uncommon. But anytime they come in, and as a supervisor, it kind of perks our ears up. So I started following the call and figuring out what was going on, and dispatched myself towards that call at the same time to just see what resources may be needed to help begin whatever was going to come from that.
Did you meet with the 911 callers?
Yes.
Where did you meet them and when?
I met them at the entrance to the intramural fields deck, and that would be approximately 12 to 17 hours when they were speaking with SPO Speller.
And did they provide you with any data that you were able to use in an attempt to locate Laken Riley?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
They showed me a screenshot, or I guess it was just where they were tracking her phone on some app. I'm not entirely sure which app it was. So I asked them to screenshot that and send it to my email, which I then sent out to other officers who were working so that we could kind of have an idea of where we might begin the search.
Tell us a little bit about that area, the intramural fields and the trails behind it. Are you familiar with them working for the police department?
Yes, very much so.
Tell us about it.
Front part of it's basically just a bunch of open sports fields. It is open for different collegiate type intramural activities. There's a big parking deck in the middle, which is where we met with the caller, and then towards the back you get to the tennis courts and Redcoat practice marching band, and then on the back side of that is a large wooded area that's maintained by the university as well.
And that large wooded area, is that large wooded area located in Athens, Clarke County, Georgia?
Yes, it is.
So what did you do once you obtained the location data?
Once I had the screenshot, I got back in my patrol vehicle and I drove to the back of the intramural fields where the trails begin. Based on where the screenshot was showing the phone was pinging, I kind of had a rough idea of how I was going to get there. At the same time, another officer arrived on scene and I directed them to go from the opposite side of the trail that I was going to enter in from.
And how did you have an idea of where the screenshot was coming from?
One, I'm relatively familiar with the trails. When I was on the bike unit, we used to ride back there every so often, but I also use things like Google Maps as well to kind of see the actual layouts of the individual trails.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you what's already been admitted into evidence. It states Exhibit 5. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
So this is the large retention pond that's towards the backside of where one of the trails are that back up to the backside of the Rogers Road University Village housing.
And using State's Exhibit 5, could you show the court in which way you entered the intramural fields and the trails?
Roughly, so the direction...
Well, yeah, do it that way because we've already toggled over. If you could show the court, because it's
Yes.
the court.
Roughly, I would have entered from this upper area side of the trail.
Lift it up so you can see it.
There's a bridge that connects over Lake Herrick, and I would have entered in from this side, and then Corporal Bridges came down this trail here, which hooked up from the actual roadway on the backside. So I had him coming from this side, I was coming from the other side so that we could meet in the middle.
Once you entered the fields, how long did you have to search the fields?
I think I searched for approximately 21-ish minutes.
And what were you looking for?
Pretty much anything that would give us an idea of, one, if she was indeed missing, or sometimes individuals may just get hurt. I think while I was also en route, I had asked them to check, dispatch to check hospitals and things like that, because sometimes people get hurt out there. So pretty much any signs that she may have been out there or anybody was out there just kind of acting weird. I think I'd also had them screenshot a picture maybe from social media to send to my email, so I had a rough idea of what she looked like. Because there's also times where we just have people who just are like, oh, I just come out here and unplug myself and I don't want to talk to anybody. So at that point, we still didn't really know what we were dealing with.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Penny, what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 15. Do you recognize State's 15?
Yes.
What is it?
I believe this should be some of my Axon footage from the day.
When you were searching for Laken Riley, were you wearing your department-issued Bodycam, Axon Bodycam?
Yes, I was.
And did it record your actions that day?
It did. I turned my camera on as I entered the bridge to go over into the trails.
And the State's Exhibit 15 contain a fair and accurate recording of your body cam footage on the 22nd day of February 2024.
Yes.
The State would move to admit State's Exhibit 15 and request permission to publish.
15's admitted.
And Your Honor, as of what we did for the hearings that we had on this case, State's Exhibit 15 contains about 2 hours worth of body cam video, which the state does not intend on playing all 2 hours, but the other side is welcome to play whatever parts they want to play of the body cam video. And again, when we are referring to State's Exhibit 15 or any Axon body cam, we're going to be using the UTC timestamp in the top right corner of the screen for records purposes, so that they will know what we're talking about, because there are 2 different timestamps on these videos, and we want to use the Axon timestamp. So for the record, Sergeant Maxwell, I am publishing States 15. If you could tell us...
I'm going to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
So I suspect what we're about to see is the victim's body there. I'm going to offer for anyone that's here to step out if you want to do that. I'll pause and allow you to do that.
May I have one moment,
Maybe
Your Honor?
more difficult.
Your Honor, thank you for that opportunity. A few people have left, but the others are insisting upon staying, and I have cautioned them to refrain from any statements about it. One more moment. If you could, Sergeant Maxwell, using the top right hand of State's Exhibit 15, tell the court our date and time here. I'm going to make you do the UTC conversion.
So it looks like at the top right, it's going to be February 22nd and then 1721, which would translate to, let's see, sorry, I'm on midnight, so my brain kind of acts weird, but about 5:21 according to that.
Okay, so that's UTC, so back it up 5 hours, 12:21 p.m. I'll help you out since you were on midnights. Okay, so 12:21 p.m. is when you start hitting the trails. And what is it that we see right in front of you? First of all, do you have your cell phone?
Yes, so I was pulling up the screenshot of the location as well as Google Maps, and then this is the bridge that I took to cross over to Lake Herrick to actually start the trails on the other side.
We can see the wooded area as the video is playing, but just tell us about the woods back there in general.
So in general, they're pretty well traveled trails. There's some very kind of more clearly marked ones that are wider that are about the size that vehicles could easily drive on them. But then there's also some connecting trails that bicyclists or pedestrians mostly would use.
Now, we just heard audio for the first time at 17:22. Why did the audio just now come on?
So we have a 30-second buffer to when we activate the camera. So it captures 30 seconds prior to activating the camera, but it's only the video, it's not the audio.
So what I'm going to do is fast forward a little bit, and again, anyone can play whatever parts they want to of this. And I'm going to go to 17:28, which is 5:28 p.m. for the record on State's Exhibit 15, and we are going to start to play it from there. But tell us now where you are in the intramural fields, or that area.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be back further on one of the larger trails that circles from the back. On the picture from earlier, it would have been the main trail that circled from the Redcoat practice band directly back from Lake Erie Drive.
Can you see that trail in State's Exhibit 5?
I believe so. Let's see.
Can you show the court on State's Exhibit 5 where you are now?
Yes, so it should be right around here near the bend of this trail.
All right. So you're looking at your phone again?
Yes. If y'all can stop calling for now.
Who were you talking to at 12:29?
I was speaking to my dispatch. When I first stepped into the wood line, I asked them to begin calling her cell phone so I could hear some kind of an audio alert to where her phone may be. I didn't hear anything, so I told them to go ahead and turn it off to try to preserve battery.
I want to stop right here at 12:29. Can you see the running trail from where you're at?
But yes.
Go back to so we can get oriented. Show us where it is. I'm going to stop again.
If y'all can stop calling.
Okay, do you see it?
Yeah, so it's going to be on my right-hand side. I'm kind of walking parallel to it in the wood line right now.
And can you just point to it on the screen?
Yes.
All right. At the top right-hand corner, almost where the timestamp is?
Correct. For now. Two. I'm currently in 8.5 is where the phone last pinged.
So approximately how long did it take you to find her?
From the original call, it would be about 21 minutes. From this area, once I was on the field, looks like it would have been closer to about 7 or 8 minutes.
How would you describe that vegetation?
It's not really super thick necessarily, but there are a lot of vines and thorn bushes and things like that that kind of interweave. Not super difficult to walk through, but it was catching my uniform every now and then.
And how would you describe the lighting out there?
The lighting was pretty decent. It was the sun was up. I'm not sure if it was completely cloudless, but not overcast.
I am going to fast forward on State's Exhibit 15 to 1234. Do you see that in the right-hand corner? And do you see the running trail on State's Exhibit 15 at this point?
Yes.
Is that what you're facing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right, so it's more this way. I'm too close. A little bit further in. It's more at that bend. Bend board is. No. Oh shit. To the university, I found it. Ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. Oh, I need EMS immediately to the location where the phone pings. Ma'am, ma'am. She's down, she's not breathing. Potentially been attacked. Starting CPR now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I'm not getting any pulse. She's stiff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's why she was Zach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Take over. Looks like blunt force trauma to the head or shirt has been removed above her breast. Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. Far side, if you look at the painting, we're exactly where that phone was pinging at. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm going to stop it right here at 12:40 for the record, states 15. Let me ask you a few questions, Sergeant Maxwell. First and foremost, we hear a whistle. Is that you whistling?
Yes, ma'am. It's my patrol whistle. We always keep it on our uniforms.
Why are you whistling?
To help other responding units figure out where we're at.
You, we heard you describe it, but tell us for the record, when you observed Laken Riley, first of all, how would you describe her clothing?
So it appeared that her clothing, at least her shirt, had been removed to up above her breast. It did not look as if something had like intentionally, unintentionally happened, as if somebody falls and has a wardrobe malfunction. It looked more intentional, as if somebody had attempted to either remove her top or maybe had used it to drag her.
At some point, did you all have to remove her top
Yes.
in order to continue CPR?
Yes.
How did y'all do that?
We have, at least some of us carry some shears on us, trauma shears, so we use those to cut off her clothing.
And who is that other officer that we now see in the video with you?
That's Corporal Mason Bridges.
Okay. And the two of you are, I see, were working together with CPR?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point, does EMS arrive?
Yes, they do.
And at some point, do you all have to physically move her body?
Yes, I believe it was before EMS showed up. It was when Athens Clark County Fire showed up.
Okay.
And they suggested that because she was laying in a more of a divot, that it would be better to move her to the side for better compressions.
Okay, and I could see you and Officer Bridges there. Were either one of you wearing gloves?
No.
Okay.
You okay? Need a switch? Okay. Okay, let me know.
And when you first saw her, was she covered by anything, or how would you describe how she was when you first saw her body?
Yes, she was laying slightly on her side, and it appeared that she had some leaves and other vegetation that had been placed on top of her.
Tell them to go to the lake and take a next left. Take a left at the lake and then take another
Go to the left, take a left, just keep going left. I'm blowing my whistle, so you should be able to hear it.
I'm going to try to fast forward a little bit. And that's 17:32.
I'll keep going. You got it?
Keep going.
Okay.
CPR.
Dude, head trauma? Yeah, it looks like right there.
Call for help. Remove pads from package in back of unit. Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Apply pads
Push it that way a little bit.
to patient's bare
Pull it that way just a
chest
bit.
as shown.
Reverse to apply pads now.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Analyzing interrupted. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient.
Yeah, run south where I ran in. About 45 degree angle to your left.
Advised.
Looks right.
To touch the patient. Begin CPR now.
Hey, I need you to scream for those officers. Hey, you know where we are. Walk over there and get them over here. Okay, you're okay. You're okay.
For 1 minute 45 seconds.
What do you mean you want to cut her shirt? Go ahead, try to get it off.
That person that you all were just talking to at 1744, 1244, who was that person?
That was one of our interns.
So she is with y'all.
Yeah, she was riding with Corporal Bridges that day.
Continue. Continue for 1 minute 30 seconds. Continue.
So why is it that you all had to cut the clothes as we just saw, as opposed to just taking the clothes off?
I believe when Sergeant Epps arrived, he attempted to take them off, but they were really tight, bound up, basically, to make it so it was very difficult, as well as some of her extremities were starting to become stiff.
Continue for 1 minute 15 seconds.
You got the wire. You got the wire. Where's it at?
Continue. Continue for 1 minute.
There you go.
Continue.
Is that everything?
Continue for
Sergeant Epps, did you notice anything about Laken Riley's clothes beneath her waist?
Yes, so she had on a pair of like running leggings, and it looked like in the front side, her underwear was bunched up towards the top end.
Was her navel exposed?
Yes.
45
Good, we
seconds.
got. On. Get another pad. Get another pad. Get another pad. Get another pad.
Continue. Continue for 30 seconds.
And can we see that now in the underwear as you described it at 1745 for the record, 1245?
Yes, in this direct frame, I think my cord from my whistle is covering it, but any frame to the side should be able to.
Okay, you see her
Yes.
underwear in that? Please point to it for the court.
So down here, it's kind of peachish or tan in color.
Sticking out of the pants in the middle of the frame? Yes? Is it in the middle of the frame
Oh,
for
yes,
the record?
yes.
Thank you. And that's at 1745 for the record.
Continue. Continue for 15 seconds.
Okay, put down.
Continue for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop CPR. Analyzing interrupted. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing.
I'm going to move a little bit I'm going to fast forward a little bit until you move her. And so for the record, I'm going to go about 3 minutes ahead. And since I am jumping ahead, instead of playing all 3 minutes, could you just tell the court what happens in the 3 minutes before y'all move her?
So we continue to rotate back and forth between AED instructions and giving compressions. During this time, Athens Clarke County Fire Department will have shown up as well.
Who is the other officer that has arrived from your police department that we see?
So Sergeant Epps will have been that officer.
So at this point, then it's you, Sergeant Epps, and Officer Bridges.
Yes.
Now, do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient.
I'm at 1748 for the record.
Analyzing. No shock advised. It is safe to touch the patient.
Negative.
Begin CPR now.
Sorry, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
We've been
7,
for a while now.
10,
We've had nothing red on this.
16, 17,
Continue.
18, 19, 20, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29,
Continue
30.
for 1 minute 45 seconds.
Who found it?
I did.
Continue. Continue for 1 minute.
We got hands on her. 3 times in check, no shock advised.
Okay, hey, let's pull her up onto some flat ground.
All right.
Get better compression.
Continue for 1 minute.
1, 2, 3.
Get that.
Hands on her.
We got, hey,
Continue.
Next to her off.
Continue for 1
Fire's taking over
minute.
CPR.
Do we have somebody with crime scene tape? We need to start going around here.
Yeah, go ahead and get a BBM.
Let her grab those back.
And so now at 17:50 or 12:50, is that when fire took over CPR?
Yes.
Is this location where you found Laken Riley's body in Athens, Clark County, Georgia?
Yes, it is.
After fire takes over CPR, what do you do?
So at that point, I suspected that this wasn't an accident based on the circumstances in which she had been found. So I started communicating with Sergeant Epps that we need to begin setting up a perimeter to preserve any evidence because I believe the crime had occurred.
What perimeter did y'all set up?
So we set up a pretty wide perimeter from that location outwards. I'm not sure exactly how far it was, but I myself went up to the more northern side of that main trail that I had walked in on, and I stood there until I was relieved.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
And I'm gonna just take out states 15 and leave out 9 quarter. How long did you stay on the scene that day?
I was there, let's see, in my narrative, I think I had until about 3:20 in the afternoon when I was relieved by another officer at that perimeter, but I was on scene for at least a couple more hours.
That's all I have, Your Honor. I'll pass this.
No questions, ma'am. Thank you, Judge. You want to replay any of this? I'm not. Okay. I'm gonna, if somebody will let them know, if anybody wants to come back in, they can do that. I'll leave that up to them.
You don't have to. Thank you, Judge. And Judge, I'll try to keep this brief. Is it Sergeant Maxwell?
Yes, it is.
Okay. When you arrived on the scene, Miss Riley's pants were on, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. They were pulled up above the waist?
To the waist, yes.
Okay. And the only thing that you noticed about her pants was that her underwear was up above her waistline, is that right?
Correct. It was bunched up in the front.
Okay. And that her shirt was pulled up, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the way that I heard you describe it on direct was that it could have been removed, is that right, by someone?
It appeared to me as if somebody may have attempted to remove it. That's why it had been lifted up.
Or had used it to drag her, is that right?
Potentially.
Okay. Did you notice any blood stains around her ankles?
I did not.
Okay. Did you notice any injuries to her ankles?
I did not.
Okay. Could this shirt have also come up if she were dragged by her feet?
I would have to speculate, potentially.
Okay. You don't have any personal knowledge of how the shirt was pulled up, is that right?
No.
Okay. And how far off of the trail would you say she was when you found her?
At least 50 feet.
Okay. And it wasn't obvious when you started looking for her, it wasn't obvious where she was.
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything about the area surrounding her that looked disturbed in any way, or is that just not something that you were necessarily looking for at the time?
Exactly. It wasn't something I was looking for at the time.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Judge.
Sergeant Maxwell, when you were conducting CPR on Laken Riley, did you actually take the time to study the number of layers of clothing that she had on her top?
I didn't specifically do that, no.
You know how many layers she had on?
I think maybe 3.
And you said her pants were pulled up above the waist. I'm going to have to ask you, what do you mean by waist?
I guess waistline would be up above more of like the hips, but below the navel.
Okay, so was her navel exposed?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Can you be excused?
Yes, sir.
Any objections? You're excused.
Thanks, sir.